Hello, it is March 3rd, 2022. This is As the World Burns. I'm your host, Randall Burns. Okay, I'm experimenting with a little different format today. We're going to be going over some images from Metaculus and other press. Today's topic is the potential for regime change in Russia relating to Vladimir Putin, which is obviously becoming a pretty dramatic issue with the Ukraine invasion. Now, there's specifically a Metaculus question that I've put the image up on, the date Putin exits the presidency of Russia. The first thing that's noted about this is that until the invasion, he had pretty decent job security. And that has been changing very dramatically recently. If you look at the far right of this image, you'll notice there's been a precipitous drop the last 24, 48 hours. Now, for folks that aren't used to Metaculus, this is a forecasting site based on a method similar to the Delphi system. It has some predictive validity, which means it's going to be better than what you read in mainstream media. Now, there's another question there where they're looking at the likelihood that he exits before the end of 2022. Right now, that's looking to be around 23, 24%, but I expect that's going to start dipping fairly soon. I'm putting lower odds on that personally, as you can see, than the site is. It generally does not pay to bet against Metaculus, but I am in this case. Now, we are going to be getting into some background information soon on what may be influencing some of this. There have been what I put in the category of rumors that Putin is actually pretty sick. Now, what is certain is that right now the war effort has not gone the way he had hoped, that there's real risks associated with this right now. There's things happening that are not to be expected. Okay, this is the from the website Quora, which discusses, some of the rumors around Parkinson's disease and Putin, which have been going around since 2020 and before. Now, one of the things that makes this more timely, and I will show you some links to other articles in the press, is that Parkinson's disease can be potentially worsened or make recovery from COVID-19 more difficult. There's a link from the Parkinson's Foundation that discusses this issue. Now, what is also made it into the news is that COVID-19 circulated around Putin's inner circle, so he's almost certainly been exposed to this. Now, again, note this picture, his face is looking a bit puffy here. So it's admitted that basically a bunch of people in Putin's inner circle got exposed to COVID-19. That's not speculation. There's also a journal article here from Nature, one of the best journals in the world, which is discussing Parkinson's disease as part of the aftermath of COVID-19. So we again have another link there. Okay. Now, here's a link to another Metaculus question on Putin's approval rating at the end of 2022. Now, you have to look at this very differently than you would a Western political figure. Putin is not subject to real elections like we have in the West, but still his approval within his country and the support he has within that country does play a factor in whether he can effectively lead. So again, look at it very differently. The fact that he has a high approval rating is not comparable to somebody subject to Western media scrutiny. It's a very different thing, but it is a constraint. Okay. Now, another factor that we're going to lead into shortly is world opinion. Now, there's a Wikipedia article on the public image of Vladimir Putin. Now, there's a Wikipedia article devoted to this. You can read it yourself and interpret it. But what that also segues into is global public opinion polls, which I show some of the international polls. This is from an international chart from International Poll of Gallup. Now, what I think is important here, if you notice, Putin has approval ratings in countries that we don't really hear much about in the United States or the Anglosphere. Countries like Vietnam, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Serbia, Moldova, India. But now here's some work from Pew Research Center, which is another polling agency, whose work I respect a great deal. Now, they do global public opinion polling. They're one of the better ones in that business, along with Gallup. But you can look a little bit at the map here that shows something of how Putin was viewed around the world before this. Putin and Russia were viewed around the world before this started. I think it's worth noting that Russia has a very favorable image in Bulgaria, which is part of their extended cultural region. Now, India is very important from a geopolitical standpoint. It's one of the stronger alliances that Russia has had in recent years, and is a non-Islamic country in that area that's very important to Russia. But this gives you, some image on this one. Now, this is a very fluid situation. If these were done today, it would be very different. It's changing quite rapidly as we speak. But there's another question, which is a premier question, which is rising, which is another Metaculus question, is will Putin be charged for war crimes before 2024? And they're giving it over a 60% chance that he will be. Now, if you do a little bit of math, either he's going to die or he's going to be charged with war crimes. He doesn't have, or he's either going to leave office for medical reasons, or he's going to be charged with war crimes. There's not much else the man has to look forward to at this point. This is not looking good for Vlad Putin. Okay, there's not really a clear win here for him, and that may be a bit of a problem. Okay, I feel for the man's health situation. I wouldn't wish Parkinson's on anybody, but this is the reality that we are facing right now, and I don't think this is being lost on the people in his inner circle either. This is just not a good situation, and it will be interesting to see how things fared out, but it does look quite possible that he will not last that long. So this is Randall Burns signing off, March 3rd, 2022. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I would enjoy hearing from my viewers. Suggestions for future episodes are welcome. Signing off. See you.